message letting me know, especially if you guys need to be released or you're not going to be here in the afternoons and stuff. That way I kind of just have a heads up, because obviously they're not really sending us messages from the school letting us know that. I've heard from a couple, but if there's anybody that I haven't heard from, just shoot me an email just saying, hey, I participate in this. And so sometimes I have to be at practice or whatever activity. So you might not be active on our meets, and sometimes in the afternoons. And that way I know that's the case. But gosh, it is Friday, guys. Thank TGIF, it is Friday. And it is a sunny Friday, so couldn't be better. We're going to intro our new unit today, unit number 3. And you guys are going to do the engage activity. It is a shorty one, so if you are caught up with everything, today is going to be a light day for you. You guys have been working your butts off, doing stuff every day. So today's activity, as long as you're all caught up with everything, shouldn't take you more than like 15-20 minutes to do. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a break, rolling into the weekend. But on that same note, it gives people a chance to get some work caught up. So if you haven't finished up your genetic variation notebook or those activities yet, you guys have some class time to do that before the weekend. So hopefully you guys can like chill out and relax and not have to worry about that stuff. Before we get into the instructions though, I just want to like give a big shout out because some kudos are in order. Seriously, like across the board, you guys are all of my classes are just killing it. To be for the second time in a row, for the second test in a row, being at a class average of over 80% is freaking phenomenal. So you guys are all doing so good. I have to give massive props to Aaron and Gavin and Sophia and Billy for rocking 100% on our test. So congratulations to you for like, whoop, whoop. I pulled an old lady moment. I don't know if you can't see my desk, but if you could, it's like a beautiful mind of Post-its. I know you're like, I know that guy. I wrote down, there's like 4 other people who got a 19 out of 20. So it's not even like, let's give these 4 people props, but like, shoot, everybody did so good. So, and I just can't find my Post-it notes where I wrote it down. I don't know. I swear I would lose my head if it wasn't attached to my shoulders. Old people problems. So big props to you guys. You guys are kicking some serious butt. So proud of you. Like, I know that your guys' motivation level is taking a serious hit right now. March sucks. It doesn't matter if we're in like distance learning or not. Like in the building, March is the worst. Let's just be real. Every stinking year this happens. Okay, you're like in the armpit of the school year. Let's just call it what it is. You're too far away from the beginning of the year and Christmas break and all the fun stuff. And you're certainly too far away from like smelling that summer breeze. Like I can just taste it. All the fun stuff. Okay. Like legit, you're right in the crack of like the school year. It sucks. Okay. So do know that this is a really like, you got to kind of like really put in that effort to stay motivated, and then we add this distance learning stuff on top of it, and it's giving you guys a run for your money. It's giving everybody a run for your money. So I'm super proud of you guys. Hang in there. If you're just like struggling extra and you're just like, help me like just get over this hump, if we can get past spring break, I promise you guys it's going to get better. Let me know and I can give you some strategies. I can give you some help. I can give you a pep talk. I can give you a virtual shake like, oh, you can do it. So I have 7 people still. You need to take your test. By the weekend, it's going to go in as a 0, and you don't want that because I still have 4 people who still need to take the last test. Okay, so like, I'm not sure what's going on. We're going to have some conversations, and I'm going to probably have to use my mom voice, and I don't like that. Nobody likes that. I haven't had to use my mom voice yet. He doesn't even know what that sounds like. I've only used like sweet, like teacher voice. Nobody wants to hear the mom voice. It's scary. But aside from that, please give each other some like virtual like pats on the back because you guys are killing it. So to that end though, I know some of you guys have reached out for test retakes, and you are 100% able to do test retakes on this. And that's something you guys can be doing today. Just let me know and I will release your test score to you. Remember, when I release it to you, it doesn't tell you the correct answers. You guys have to go and research the correct answers. And to do your test corrections, you need to fill out the last slide in your genetic variations notebook. Okay, it'll look like a big spreadsheet. Each row is going to be for one of the questions that you got wrong on the test. So you're going to fill out each row for each question you got wrong. Once you have it filled out, just shoot me an email letting me know that you finished it, and I'll go into your notebook and kind of review your corrections to make sure you corrected them correctly. If I see any glaring issues, I will text you. I will email you back and just say, hey, remember, I'll kind of correct those for you, and then I will add you to the retake. You are able to retake it as many times as you need to until you are satisfied with your score, as long as you're making you're progressing forward. And yeah, I honestly just replace your score. So, I mean, what's the harm in that? I mean, win-win. So you guys have until the end of the quarter to do all this, but you can certainly start with that today by just sending me an email. Also, these instructions are posted in Google Classroom under the class resources. So if you've missed any of this or you know you're going to forget some of this, it's posted in there. So if you turned in your notebook and you want to do test corrections, it's an easy thing. I'll return your notebook to you so you can re-edit, and then you just resubmit it to me. Yeah, so if that's something you're wanting, just like shoot me a message, say, hey, I want to do test corrections, and I will return your notebook to you. No big deal. Okay, questions about the retakes? Good.
Oh, because I only have one wrong in my test, and
I know you killed it, John.
Yeah, one wrong.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, let me know. Like I said, email me. I can walk you through the process. Again, the stuff's posted in Google Classroom. But for now, we are going to actually, nope, that's not what I want to do. What I would like for you to do is to pop into Google Classroom. Hello to all of my people who are kind of rolling in here a little bit late. What I would like for you guys to do is to jump over into Google Classroom. And we're going to open up our next copy of your notebook. Let's see. It's an 85% Venn, which is a B. So if you take a look, if you're under classwork, so here's where I was talking about. Here's your test retake policy. So if you missed any of that info, it's right here. Class recordings, if you are one of those people who utilizes those, you'll notice that it looks a little different. Yesterday, I went and I condensed all of the genetic variation unit videos down into a single post. So if you click open to that, you'll see they're all in order. So you can rewatch those or access those. You also have the protein synthesis videos. So every class that I've taught, well, nearly every class, there's a video there. So it's recording everything. So no excuses. The next thing I did is that the genetic variation unit material, I just moved the whole folder down to the end. And I moved our current unit up to the top. So that's what you should see right up here. So we're going to first go ahead and you guys are going to open up your copy of the natural selection notebook. And we're going to kind of take a look at these first couple slides. So while you guys are opening up, I'm going to jump to slide number 2 real quick. This is a much shorter unit than last one, and let's be honest, last one was really long. It was kind of 2 units in one, to be honest. It was not quite enough to make 2, but not, it was kind of like 1.7 units in length. So we just made a really long one. This one, much shorter. So this guy is going to be kind of more of a traditional like 2-week kind of a deal, where we're not going to see repeats in sections. So we're just going to go straight on down. So if you're ever gone or you're missing anything, always look to slide number 2 to see what slides we did for each of those activities. And then always remember, everything in Google Classroom is named, the names match up, okay? Same thing with the videos. Everything is named to pair up together. But if we go to slide number 3, really what we're doing here, and I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the semester, this semester is really nice because every unit builds on top of each other, and it's like we're taking a thread and we're just going to constantly weave it through. So if you remember back before midwinter break at the very start, we had our protein synthesis unit. So we started looking at DNA and the idea that DNA is our unifying factor through all life on Earth. Every living thing is made of DNA, and we all share the same genetic code, A's, T's, C's, and G's. And it's that mixing and matching of those A's, T's, C's, and G's that gives us all of this difference and all this diversity we see everywhere on our Earth, okay? Now, from there, we kind of honed it in and we started to classify this stuff and said, okay, well, these segments of DNA, those are actually called genes, and each of those genes is responsible for individual traits. And we get our traits from our parents. So there's this level of, okay, well, we have to be able to pass our genetic information on generation to generation. So there's this level of inheritance through either asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. And each one having some benefits and some limitations, but sexual reproduction specifically allowing us to have this insane amount of possibility for variation, okay? And it's through sexual reproduction that we're going to see where we can have lots of different recombinations of our genetic information and like shuffling, because we have the combination of your sex cells. So the sperm and eggs are going to come together, and we can predict that. This unit, we're building off of that. So if you take a look at the vocab, you're going to notice, one, there's a lot less vocabulary terms than last unit, but half of them were from last unit. So genotype, phenotype, gene, trait, sexual reproduction, we've already done those. So that's going to be really nice when we move into this unit, because you have a pretty solid foundation already. Now we're just going to add in this whole concept about how does the environment play a role? Because it was that variation, that genetic variety that we were seeking, that was supposed to help us be successful in changing environments. But now we're going to look at how that happens. How does it give us a success? Or how does it give us an advantage? What role does the environment play? That's where we're going to be at for this unit. So what's that environmental piece? So we're going to look at what's natural selection, what is fitness, and what is not fitness. So we've heard this word before, so I'm not talking about like all y'all sports people going after school working on your fitness. That's not what we're talking about here. So we're looking at biological fitness. What is heritability, variability? What is reproductive advantage? What are adaptations? And then ultimately, what is evolution? And evolution kind of has this misconception about what it is and what it is not. So we're going to be able to kind of come up with a working definition of that. So based off of these terms, ones you've seen before, how you did on your last test, and kind of what you think you've known, because you've seen some of these in middle school. They introduce some of these concepts. We're not going to take a pre-assessment or a formal one. So I want you guys just to kind of grab this red dot in your notebook and place it to where you think you might be. So if you've got a pretty good understanding of those and you think you could probably figure out, all right, how would having certain traits help an organism survive in an environment? Okay, place your little ball along this little continuum here. And I would venture to say some of us are probably going to start more towards this side just based off of your understanding of how genes are passed on. So from our last unit. Okay. All right. So to get us started, you guys get to, you're going to work independently today, but you guys get to look at the cutest little organism. It's called a rough pocket mouse. It is so cute. It is legit this big. So from nose to tail, end of their tail, they're like that big. They're like snack-sized Snickers bars. They're so cute. They literally will fit in your pocket. And they're tiny little mice, and they live in the Sonora Desert of like southwest of the Southwest United States, and they are adorbs. So we are going to look at them as our like an example organism for how different traits are going to allow an organism to have a reproductive advantage, meaning those traits are going to allow them to survive and reproduce in their environment more so than others. Okay, so how does specifically the color of their fur give them an advantage for having babies? Okay, the first thing you guys are going to do for this activity is you're going to watch a short little video about the rock pocket mouse. So you're going to take a look at what their environment looks like, what sort of predators are around them, what do they eat. So just like the, day-to-day life of the little rock pocket mouse. After you watch the video, you've got 3 questions to answer, short little questions about the rock pocket mouse. Okay, and again, they're like seriously adorable. Then what you guys are going to do is a quick simulation where you're going to play out what it's like for these rock pocket mouse in a changing environment. Now, this simulation and this activity, the goal of it is for you guys to just make observations. So you guys are starting to notice patterns and trends in how the population of the rock pocket mouse changes and what sort of changes happen over time, okay? So in Google Classroom, you have the links to both. So under the natural selection unit, you're gonna click lesson 1, the engage, reproductive advantage. The video link is right here on the left, and the simulation is going to be on the right. I'm gonna go ahead, if I clicked on the simulation, here is what you guys are looking at. It's super simple and it's basic. This is why it's not going to take you very long to do this one. The longest is you're going to have to kind of do, the biggest thing you're going to do is just kind of wait time. Now, these little circles, these little orbs, okay, that are kind of moving around, those represent the rock pocket mouse. So you have some rock pocket mouse or mice that are black and some that are tan. The background color, that represents their environment, so the color of their soil or the terrain. These big ones that kind of keep swooping in, you kind of see them come in, everyone like that right there. Those are predators, okay? So at the beginning, and you're going to follow along with the instructions in your notebook, you're basically just watching what they're doing. So notice how, like this guy, if I follow him, oop, he's about to do it. Gonna do it. Oh, he just did it. Okay. If you notice, they kind of like will go and they'll plop and it looks like they turn into 5 more. That represents reproduction. Okay. So they're creating offspring. So I want you guys, things I want you kind of to notice is what do you notice about the distribution of the color of their coat? So the color of the rock pocket mouse. How many of each color are there? What do you notice about the background? How does the color of their coat relate to the color of the background of the soil? What do you notice about the amount of predators? Okay. Is there only one variation in the color of the fur color, or is there multiple? Okay. Now down here, there's a slider. And as you slide this thing, this is how you're going to change your environment. Now, the environment that the rock pocket mouse lives in has been affected by volcanoes or volcanic activity. Over time, when the volcanoes have erupted and spew out lava, the lava actually cools and it turns the soil black. So as you guys drag this little slider over, you're going to notice that there's patches of black that start to pop up. And the more you slide it over, the darker it gets. So you guys are going to play with this little slider, and this will be your manipulated variable, the variable you're going to change. And as you move this over, this is what I want you guys to do, or this is what, when you move it over, I want you then to look at the population and see how the population is changing. So notice, okay, does it increase or decrease the amount of predators coming in? Do we see more or less light or tan colored pocket mice, or, you know, what's going on there, okay? As you guys do that, then you're gonna fill out the rest of slide 4 and slide 5, okay? And that's all you got for your new assignments for today. Once you get to the end of slide 5, you are done, okay? We will go through all of your observations and your things you've noticed, patterns and trends on Monday morning. So, questions on your simulation, what you guys are doing there? Again, not very much. Notice there's like barely any questions. You get it busted out, it should take you like 15 minutes, max 15 minutes, okay? So you guys get the rest of the class period to work on the engaged section. So watch the rock pocket mice video. It's about 5 minutes. Complete those questions on the left-hand side of slide 4. Then do the simulation. So finish up the right-hand side of slide 4, and then do slide 5. If you have not taken your genetic variation test, please do that after. If you have not finished your genetic variation notebook, please use the time to do that and then get it in. So once you finish this top part, you're done with the new stuff, then you can use the rest of the class period as a catch-up day. If you're caught up with everything, then you got the rest of the class period to chillax, okay? Other than that, you're free to stick around and work. I'll be on until 3:10 if you have any questions. But other than that, have an amazing afternoon. You guys are free to go and start working, and let me know if you guys have any questions.